Hi, I'm James Barfield for Your Urban Connection. And remember, this is the channel that is often duplicated, often imitated, but is never duplicated. Okay? And part of the reason for that is because of the fact that nobody else will touch the issues that I talk about here. And today we're going to have another one of those issues. You know, the Supreme Court has leaked information from Justice Alito that says the Supreme Court is ready, willing, and able to overturn Roe v. Wade. Now, that revelation certainly has females across this country up in arms, disappointed, angry, because you know why? Because they thought and they were told that several of these Supreme Court justices, when they were nominees, they were told that Roe v. Wade was settled law, meaning that, hey, it was untouchable. Well, nothing could be further from the truth. So now we have members of the Senate on both the Republican and the Democratic side crying foul. As a matter of fact, Senator Gillibrand said 5 of these justices lied to the Senate and to the American people during their nomination process when they inferred that they would not touch Roe v. Wade because it was settled law. Well, listen, let's just be honest. We knew they were lying when they said that. The Senate knew they were lying when they said that. They knew they were lying when they said that. But look, they were applying for a job. And if they had said anything other than they considered Roe v. Wade settled law, Donald J. Trump would never have nominated them, and they would not have had a chance to be where they are today, sitting on the Supreme Court. Now, the problem here is, for the last 20 years, the Republicans have been letting it be known that they wanted to overturn Roe v. Wade if they ever had the opportunity. And the only way the opportunity would present itself is they had to have judges that met their litmus test. And what was the litmus test? Well, the litmus test was they had to be pro-life. They had to be anti-abortion. Okay? So that's what they said. In other words, they told certain senators and the president what he wanted to hear, knowing full well that was not what was in their hearts nor their heads. Okay? But it's like as they were applying for a job. If you were about to hire an employee and you said to him or her, now, if we give you this job, can you guarantee us or will you assure us that you would give us 100% of your efforts to embrace and enhance this company? How many of them are going to say no? Because the minute you say no, you just lost that job. All right. And so that's what happened with the Supreme Court. Now, let's go back to when Barack Obama appointed Merrick Gordon, who is now the Attorney General. Okay, so Barack Obama appointed Merrick Gordon to be a Supreme Court justice. In comes Majority Leader of the Senate, Mitch McConnell, who says that's not going to happen. Well, how can you stop him? He's fine. I'm not going to give him a hearing. We're not going to fill that seat until the election because we want the people to make the decision. Okay? Now, what he was hoping for was that we would get a Republican president. And then the president would fill that seat that they stole from Barack Obama with a conservative, pro-life judge. Now, so I want to ask you a question. Is there anybody out there that believes that had Merrick Gordon been a Republican, pro-life conservative that McConnell would have held that seat open? In no way. That seat, just like the seat of Justice Barrett, would have been filled within 30 days of nomination, I guarantee you, because that's what Mitch McConnell wanted. He wanted to fill that seat and any other seats with pro-life, conservative, right-wing Republicans. And that's what he did. And then along comes Trump, and Trump has no problem saying that he is going, during his term, if any of those seats become vacant, anybody retires or dies or whatever, he's going to replace them with judges that meet the litmus test: pro-life, anti-abortion. And that's what he did. Now, so then we get Gorsuch and we get Kavanaugh, okay? Both who looked right into the faces of the senators and said Roe v. Wade is settled law, which would indicate that they were not going to touch Roe v. Wade. Well, ladies and gentlemen, let me just give you a little example of what is settled law. We thought. Can anybody say Voting Rights Act, which was passed in 1965? Okay, that's well over 50 years ago. And where does the Voting Rights Act sit today? It's not the Voting Rights Act that was enacted in 1965. As a matter of fact, right now you have states all over this country that are doing everything within their power to make sure that the Voting Rights Act, okay, makes it very difficult, if not impossible, for people of color not to vote. Now, this was caused by the last 4 years of the United States Supreme Court slowly cutting, diluting, and diminishing the Voting Rights Act of 1965. So here you have today a Voting Rights Act that is nowhere near what was passed in 1965. Now, the reason for that is Republicans can see the handwriting on the wall. They saw it in Georgia in the last election, presidential election. If people of color are allowed equal access to the ballot in the ballot box, and they vote in numbers, Republicans cannot and will not win. So they've got to figure out a way to stop people of color from voting. And that's what they're doing. They're passing laws that even make it illegal. If somebody's out there in a hot, sunny day, it's illegal for you to give them a bottle of water or a bottle of juice or anything. I mean, this is just utterly ridiculous. But they will never admit that this law they're passing, these laws they're passing, are racially motivated. They will never, ever admit that. Okay? Listen, folks, I'm telling you people that we, the Democrats, going forward, are going to have to do a better job of talking up the importance of who we put on that Supreme Court. That, more than anything I can think of, affects your life for the rest of your life, because once they get on that bench, they're on there for life. They'll make decisions that affect you negatively for 20, 30, 40 years. It's very important. Democrats, do your job. Put this court, and I think now going forward, after this, I think we won't have to tell them again, because see, they've taken that for granted. But I'm going to tell you one thing. These conservative judges on the Supreme Court, taking their lead from conservative right-wing extremists, congressmen and senators, will not stop at just overturning Roe v. Wade. They will make further intrusions into the lives of women and men. So the Democratic Party must step up their game and stop being played like a fiddle with these important, life-changing situations as they've done for the last 20, 30 years. If not, I'm going to tell you, folks, if you think times are tough right now, if you're poor in this country, I don't care if you're black, white, Hispanic, whatever, times are about to change for a very long time for the worst, not for the betterment of this country. You will see. But keep in mind, a lot is on you. And one of the things you must do is vote and vote in numbers. There's more of us. And when I say us, I'm talking about Democrats as opposed to Republicans. There's more of us than there are them. But too oftentimes, more of us choose to sit at home rather than to go vote. Too many of us who are of a voting age are not registered. That must change, or else. And I'll leave on the or else. I'm James Barfield.